वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भगवतसेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकीनन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनच्छलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं सहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सगणदयिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्णकरुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेशा गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोस्तुते तप्तकाञ्चन गौरांगी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी भानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वंशकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्ण प्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमती राधानाथ। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्ण प्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमती भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषण्यवादी पाश्चात्य मुखम करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंघयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्येश्वरं। हरे कृष्ण। Thank you all for joining. So today we are still in the auspicious month of Purushottam Mas. So another wonderful opportunity to discuss Harikatha, especially the king of all literatures, Srimad Bhagavat, Grantharaj. We are in the 9th canto on the 14th chapter today. This chapter is entitled King Pururava, Enchanted by Urvashi. 9th canto is predominantly focusing on the present Manvantara, which is the Vaivasvat Manvantara. And the discussion is of the various pastimes is coming as a offshoot of the descendants of the various dynasties coming from Vaivasvat Manu. Vaivasvat Manu, by the name itself, Vaivasvat means the son of Vaivasvat. Krishna says right in the 4th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. In the beginning, I gave this knowledge to Vivasvan. Vivasvan Manave Praha. That Manu is Vaivasvat Manu. Manave Praha Manur Ikshvakave Abravi. And Manu gave it to his son Ikshvaku. So this we have been discussing in this canto. Evam parampara praptam idam rajarshayo vidu sakale hamata yogo nashta parampara. So we discuss how the Raja Rishis generations continue, especially in the solar dynasty, the Surya Vamsha. In this particular chapter, the discussion changes from solar dynasty, because if you remember at the end of the previous chapter, it ended with this was the last of the solar dynasty. After this, the dynasty stopped of the great kings, Raja Rishis. Now, Srila Shukadev Goswami is telling Maharaj Parikshit, all this while I was telling you about the descendants of the solar dynasty, Surya Vamsha. Now I shall tell you about the great descendants of the lunar dynasty in this Manvantara. And especially in the lunar dynasty, I will tell you about King Aila. King Aila. Who's Aila? Aila is King Pururava. Pururava. Because it is very auspicious to hear about him. It is very glorious to hear about him. So Shukadev Goswami starts narrating about the Chandramamsha. So this particular chapter is dedicated very specifically to the personality of Pururava, King Pururava, and his very interesting story. The story is a story of sensual indulgence. This chapter is focused on Pururava's love affair with the celestial nymph Urvashi, and how it harassed him, this material attraction to the physical beauty of Urvashi harassed him and made him go through so much. And eventually, how, it's not covered in this chapter, eventually how, subsequently the Bhagavatam will explain, Pururava, the suffering that his chasing of Urvashi caused him, how it eventually transformed him and made him a great devotee of the Lord. A very interesting story. This is the unfortunate reality for most of us. Why unfortunate? Because if simply by hearing scripture we realize that Krishna explains in the Gita, what does Krishna explain in the Gita? Adyavanta ime kaunteya nateshu ramate vada. That when the senses come in contact with objects of sense enjoyment, people think that's the source of happiness, but actually that's a source of misery. Material happiness is a beginning and an end. Yehi samsparshaja bhoga dukkha yonaya evate adyavanta kaunteya nateshu ramate buddha. Buddha, those are intelligent people, do not chase for that kind of enjoyment which comes about when the senses come in contact with sense objects. Adyavanta. They have a beginning and the end, and they are actually sources of misery. Because they will create an attachment and they will create hankering and lamentation, which will never allow us to be peaceful. Anyway, so if everyone could learn simply by reading Bhagavad Gita, we wouldn't see so many frustrated people. Even as sadhakas, we go through so many frustrations. Because most of us learn better the hard way. What is the hard way? Hard way is by, Prabhupada says, by getting kicks of Maya. Repeated kicks of Maya, and then finally, after so much battering, we remember the verse from Bhagavad Gita. Actually, Krishna told, when I came to temple, first day only I heard this verse. With 20 years of kicking, to appreciate this verse a bit better. So King Pururava's example is an example of such a personality. So, of course, we still have a choice. We want to go down the Pururava path, or we want to accept what Guru, Sadhu and Shastra are telling us. So, Shukadev Goswami starts by explaining how the Chandramamsha actually begins from Lord Vishnu himself. He says, Lord Vishnu in the form of Garbhotakshay Vishnu, who is also known as the Sahasra Shirsha Purusha, the universal form, the Sahasra Shirsha Purusha, Purusha Avatar, from his navel, which is like a lake. Oftentimes the abdomen of the Lord is compared to a lake. From the navel in the lake of the abdomen of the Lord, full lotus sprung, on which Lord Brahma appears. So, Lord Vishnu, Garbhotakshay Vishnu, he creates Brahma. From Brahma, a great sage, Atri, is born. So, Brahmaji creates many great sages at the beginning of creation. Atri was one of them. And from Atri's tears, it is said, Atri is married to Anusuya. From Atri's tears was born a son whose name was Soma. Now, this is a very interesting story. Prabhupada says there are two different descriptions in Shastra. Some say that Soma is the name of moon god. Now, moon god or Chandradev is a position. In this Manvantara, the son of Atri, whose name is Soma, is sitting on that position. Just like Purandar is sitting on the position of Indra. Vivaswan is sitting on the position of Surya Dev. So all these devatas have their personal names, right? Just like when we say India's Prime Minister, who's sitting on that position? Narendra Modi is sitting on the position of the Prime Minister. Prime Minister's position is going to be there always. But different people occupy it at different times. So in different Manvantaras, different individuals occupy these different positions. So Soma became Chandradeva. So in some scriptures it is mentioned Soma was born from the mind of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But here this verse says from Atri's tears he appeared. This is very interesting. So Prabhupada says we should not be confused. Sometimes scriptures give different informations because of Manvantara Bheda or Kalpa Bheda. So the story of him coming, the Soma coming from the mind of the Lord is from a different Manvantara. But in this Manvantara, where Atri, he was born from the tears of Atri, that is a story from Vaivasvata Manvantara. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur very specifically says, Drigbhya Anandashrubhya Ata Evamritamaya. Because the Soma, who's now Chandradev, came from the ecstatic tears, not from the crying tears, Anandashrubhya. There are two kinds of crying. There are two kinds of crying. One is crying out of agony and one is crying out of ecstasy. It is said when we cry out of agony, the tears come from here, from closer to the nose, from the edge of the eyes closer to the nose, and they are warm tears. But when we have tears of ecstasy, tears of gratitude, they come from here, from the edge of the eyes, and they are very cool. Tears of jubilation, drigbhya. Therefore, Chandradev, whose Soma is also known as Amritamaya, full of soothing rays. He has this quality. When we think about moon, what is the most prominent thought which comes? Moon means very cooling moonshine, full of soothing rays. In the fourth canto of the Bhagavatam, there is a mention of this. Atrehe Patni Trin, the three wives of Atri. Sorry, there are three sons of Atri from his wife Anasuya. Chadne Suyashasaha Sutan. Suyash Prabhu is here. Suyashasaha Sutan. Who were greatly positively famous. Suyash means greatly positively famous. Successful. Who are those three Suyashaha? Sutan, Dattam, Durvasam, Somam. Dattatreya, Durvasa Muni, also a son of Atri. And Soma, Atmesha Brahma Sambhavan. So this is what is mentioned in scriptures. So it was reconciled that actually is born from the tears. That whole pastime is not mentioned here, but that is not really necessary. So it is said because of being born from the Anandashu, that's why he had such a cooling effect, and that is why he was given the position of Chandra, because Chandra's Dev performs a very specific role. Chandradev not just gives beautiful moonshine as a lighting at night, but Chandradev has other two roles. One is he is the Lord of the nakshatras. He illuminates all the stars. In fact, all the nakshatras, 27 nakshatras, 28 they say, are all wives of Chandradev. Each of the constellations are different wives of Chandradev. Nakshatrani. And that's why in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Nakshatranam aham shashi. Of all the nakshatras, I am the moon. The moon is the Lord of all the nakshatras. So that is one area. And the other area is moon is nourishing all the herbs. The Prabhupada says this many times, the nectarian, fresh, succulent taste of all the fruits, herbs on earth is coming from moon, through the moonshine. Moon, of course, also controls the water. It also affects the waves. So vegetables as well as medicines herbs, herbal drugs are controlled by Chandradev. So that's the background of Soma. So at one time, this is an ancient story. After conquering all the three worlds, this Soma was a very powerful personality. Upper, lower, and middle planetary systems. Chandradev, he performed a very great sacrifice known as Rajasuya Yajna. It is said that Chandradev was extremely handsome, extremely beautiful. And you know what happens typically for a person who's extremely beautiful and also successful? What happens? They become very puffed up. So he was performing a very beautiful yajna, and so many people had come for that yajna. In that yajna, Brihaspati, who's the uh, Deva Guru, he had come along with his wife, Tara. Now, this is the problem with those who are still not transcended material energy. Somadev got attracted to Tara, who was the wife of Brihaspati, and he forcibly kidnapped Tara and took her away. Again and again, Brihaspati was saying, Baba, what are you doing? She's my wife. Don't take her away. But Som did not return Tara because he was very, very proud and egoistic that whatever I want, I can enjoy. And because of this reason, a big conflict arose between the Devas and the Asuras. So you may wonder what Asuras have to do with this. So when Brihaspati had a problem with Soma, and Brihaspati is Deva Guru, he assembled all the Devatas to fight against Indra. Now Brihaspati's enemy is who? Shukracharya. And Shukracharya is the Asur Guru. So Shukracharya came to Somadeva and said, you have a problem with Brihaspati? Don't worry, everybody is against you, I will help you. You want to keep Tara, I will help you. Abducting of other people's wives is special pastime of the Asuras. So we are on your side in this regard. Huh? He didn't say that, I'm just saying. So Shukracharya brought all the Asuras to fight on the side of Soma against Brihaspati and the Devatas. So just imagine, Bhagavatam says for this one lady, because of Soma's lust, the Devatas and the Asuras are fighting, so many people are getting killed and crushed and so much misery. Not only were the Devatas and the Asuras fighting, it is said, Lord Shiva, because of his affection, he for Brihaspati and others, Lord Shiva took the side of the Devatas. Now, why? The Acharyas explain that Shiva was very affectionate towards Brihaspati. Why? Because the father of Brihaspati, Angira, right, was a disciple of Lord Shiva. Angira had received knowledge from Shiva, so it is disciple's son. So Lord Shiva had special affection for Brihaspati. So when this happened, Lord Shiva also took the side of the Devatas. So huge chaos. Sarvadeva Ganopeto Mahendro Guru Manvayat Surasura Vinasho Abhut. Vinash. Everyone fighting. Samaras Tara Kamaya because of his hankering for Tara. All kinds of chaos ensued in the upper planetary systems. So Lord Brahma, he's very concerned. What is this happening? Devas, Asuras are fighting amongst each other because of such a mess. So sometimes you see even Devatas misbehave, and this is not the first time, there are many other episodes. If one's senses are not in control, one transgresses religious principles. Lord Brahma had to intervene into that scene and he severely chastised Soman. Nonsense you are doing. What is this? Huh? You are sitting on Chandradev position and you are behaving like this. You are stealing the wife of Devaguru Brihaspati. What nonsense is this? So Lord Brahma chastised him and forced him to deliver Tara to her husband Brihaspati. But interestingly, at that time when Tara was delivered back to Brihaspati, Tara was already pregnant. Another twist to the story. So Brahaspati was chastised. Brahaspati came to know my wife is pregnant. I mean, she was all this while with Soma, and it appears she was also infatuated by Soma. Looks like so. It wasn't just a one-sided thing. Even though not lot of detail is given, but she was also at fault in the whole episode. So he was chastising her. You are my wife. I should give you a child. What is this that you have done? You have gone. You have cooperated with Soma, and you have allowed him. So I'm instructing you. You give birth to the child immediately. So in those days and also in higher planets, it was possible to immediately give birth to a child. And if you do that, because I also want a son, Brihaspati wanted a son. So in those days, it was like that. If somebody is one's wedded wife, even in certain situations, sometimes it would happen that the husband was unable to impregnate the wife. Then, some sage or some exalted personality would be asked to impregnate the wife. But the son from the wife would be considered the son of the husband, not of the person who impregnates. So that was one system. This is not to be followed in Kali Yuga, but there was a system in the previous ages. We discussed about that in some other pastimes. I'm not going to that now. So he said, no, she's my wedded wife. So even though the son may be question mark impregnated by someone else, still he's my son. So if you immediately give birth to the son and hand him over to me, I will not curse you. Otherwise, I'll burn you to ashes because you're an unchaste lady. But if you give me the son immediately, then I will not. So Tara was confused because Tara was like, pulled in both directions, husband and this side, Soma. Looks like she had some special affection for Soma. So she was of course feeling ashamed because this was a public humiliation. She's here in an assembly, husband is there, Soma is there, all the devatas are there. So nonetheless, being instructed by her husband Brihaspati, she immediately gave birth to a very beautiful child with a golden hue. As soon as this very beautiful child, this child was very, very intelligent. And this child is known as Buddha. He was named as Buddha because he was extremely intelligent. With a beautiful golden bodily hue. As soon as he was born, both Brihaspati, because he wanted a son, he was attracted to this child. Soma was thinking, he's my biological son. So he belongs to me. So both were claiming, he's my child, he's my child, he's my child. So again fighting broke out. Brihaspati's camp and Chandradev's camp. This is my child, this is my child, So finally all the saints and all the demigods, they finally said, okay, let's not fight anymore. Let us ask Tara, whose child this Buddha is. So they went to Tara and said, tell who's the father. So she was very ashamed. So immediately she was unable to answer that question. So when the newborn child, saw that his mother was ashamed of telling who the father is, this Buddha, who's a very intelligent child, because he's born. I mean, they are not higher planets. They are not babies. They are born, with good cognitive facilities as soon as they are born. The child became very angry with the mother that she was hiding the truth. You unchaste woman, what is the use of all this shame? You did not feel shame when you did what you did, and now you are not even willing to admit who my actual father is. Immediately tell everyone who my father is. So Lord Brahma saw that the situation is very embarrassing. Tara did not want to speak publicly who is the father. So Lord Brahma arranged the situation. He took Tara into a secluded place. He said, okay, can you privately tell me now who is the father of the child? Very softly she told Lord Brahma that this is the son of Soma, the moon god. It is said at that time the moon god immediately took charge of the child. Saying, it is my child. See, the lady has also accepted. So this child was named Buddha. Who's this Buddha? Mercury, Buddha. So Chandradev is in charge of moon. Buddha, the son of Tara and Soma is in charge of Mercury, Buddha planet. Buddha stands for Budhavar and Soma stands for Sombar. Monday and Wednesday. Okay. So once it was established that Buddha is the son of Soma, all the uh, Tarakas, all the nakshatras, they became very, very happy because Soma now has a illustrious son. Okay, so this is the background. Pururava has not yet come into the scene. So it is said to this Buddha who was very intelligent, he married a lady known as Ila. And to Buddha and Ila, a son was named, was known as Pururava. Sorry, Pururava, not Pururava. Pururava. Pururava's name, if you remember, was hinted at the beginning of the 9th canto when the descendants were mentioned, but we didn't go in that direction. So now this descendants and the story of Pururava is coming now, but this hint of Pururava as the son of Buddha was at the beginning of the 9th canto. Those who listened attentively may recollect. Okay, I recollect. So, this Pururava was also known as Aila. Why Aila? Because his mother is Ila, the son of Ila is known as Aila. This Pururava was also extremely illustrious. Chandradev himself is so attractive and so opulent. Pururava was also extremely beautiful. He had wonderful, beautiful qualities, excellent behavior. He was very nice and well behaved. Very wealthy, his power. So once it so happened in Indra Darbar, Narad Muni had come and he was narrating the beautiful character, personality, beauty, regality of Pururava. And in that assembly, one of the extremely beautiful Apsaras of Indra by the name of Urvashi, she happened to be in that particular assembly. It is said when she heard the glories of Pururava and the beauty of Pururava and his achievements and everything, Urvashi's heart got attracted to Pururava just by hearing about him. So interestingly, as a background, Mitra and Varuna, these two devatas, had cursed Urvashi. Because of another episode, we'll not go into that now. They had cursed that you will have to go to the Earth planet. So Urvashi was cursed to be in the Earth planet, at least for some time. And she heard about Pururava and she thought, oh, while I'm on the Earth planet, why not I sport with Pururava? So it is said, Urvashi, because of the curse, she had already acquired human-like habits. So she went to Earth and she approached Pururava. Was extremely good looking. And her heart was burning out of attraction for him. So please understand, Urvashi being Apsara, their moral code is a bit different from the way human beings are supposed to behave. For them, it is normal to have many partners. Go from year to year, that's okay. That's part of their job description. Different living entities have different dharmas. So please do not follow Apsara Dharma unless you're Apsara. So please follow, Manav Dharma based on our system. So she went to Pururava. And she was so attracted by that. She approached him. And Pururava, when he saw Urvashi, he was like quickly flat. Urvashi will be thousands of times more beautiful than the most beautiful woman conceivable ever on earth. Pururava's eyes lit up simply by, his hair on his body was standing on end. That was the effect that just seeing Urvashi had on him. And can you imagine this? Urvashi is, already head over heels by seeing Pururava. So, she's coming to him, beseeching him, and he's already like just by seeing her once, totally melted. So he told her, Pururava told her, "Oh, most beautiful woman, please come, please welcome. It's so nice to see you. Please sit here. What can I do for you? You know, it seems that you are approaching me with a desire to enjoy. Yes, yes, I can cooperate with you. I think it's a very good idea. As long as you desire, let us sport together and enjoy with each other. Correct? You want to enjoy, I want to enjoy. You are attracted to me, I'm attracted to you. Huh? Let's have a beautiful, romantic, physical relationship with each other." So uh, that resulted in Pururava and Urvashi coming together. It is said that Pururava was so infatuated with Urvashi. Urvashi was also equally infatuated with Pururava at that time. Urvashi also says, actually, Pururava, you are so handsome. I cannot even imagine how any lady who sees you will not be attracted. If a lady takes shelter of your chest, huh, I cannot imagine how she can resist not having a physical relationship with you. That kind of conversations they are having. Yes, yes, I will definitely sport with you, oh Pururava. I am also equally attracted to you, just like you're attracted to me. But with me, I have two pets or two pet lambs. So she had two lambs who were very dear to her. Urvashi loved those two lambs, small lambs, like her children. Like nowadays, you see across the world, people love their dogs and cats more than human beings also sometimes. There is so much chaos. Anyway, that's a different topic. Huh? Prabhupada was very emphatic. Don't get attached to lower animals. It will cause your durgati. So Urvashi was attached to Urvashi was attached to these two lambs. She said, "Okay, I come with a package. My package is also these two lambs. So you have to also take care of my two lambs and they have to also be part of our family." Okay, okay. I am such a big king. What is the problem? Two lambs. Yes, yes. I will take care of them. So she says, when I was cursed, I'm Urvashi, when I was cursed, these two lambs also came down with me. So I'm okay to be with you because, even though I'm from heaven right now, I'm cursed, so I'm here and you are from earth. So, it's okay. The situation is good for both of us to be together. And you are better than me in so many respects. So I have no problem accepting you as my husband, in bracket temporary, because when Apsara says husband, she never intends to stay forever. So please, if any of you get ever approached by an Apsara and she says, I want to be your wife, please understand that wife is a temporary contract arrangement only. It's not permanent employee relationship. So please don't get trapped. I hope it never happens, but just in case, never know. So he said, okay, all good. You'll take care of the two lambs. Fine, very good. But I have a few more conditions. Pururava says, shoot, tell me, what are your conditions, Urvashi? Urvashi says two things. One is, I am come from heavenly planet, so I cannot eat your ordinary, naan and your, paneer tikka and your all these things, cauliflower pakoda and all that. No, no, no. I will only eat perfect things which are cooked in absolute pure clarified butter only, ghee. Only things in pure ghee I will eat. Okay, that's not a big thing. Done. What else? You see, even though I'm an Apsara and even though I like to enjoy, you also have some standard as an Apsara. I should never see you naked, she tells Pururava, other than when we are having a relationship together, when we are in bed together. That's the only time I can see you naked. These two conditions you have to fulfill. If you violate any of these conditions, then I will leave you. Then our contract ends. This is the termination clause of the contract, marriage contract. My two lambs, my ghee food, and never seeing you naked other than in bed. No big deal. Done. Show me where to sign. Okay, let's go on a honeymoon. So both of them were having wonderful time together. So Shukadev Goswami says, Pururava was freely mixing and spending time with Urvashi. Day and night they were engaged in sexual activities. They were traveling across many celestial places, Chaitra Ratha, Nandana Kanana gardens, because she had access as Apsara. She was taking, and they were enjoying all over to the best of places. They were having their honeymoon. It was a never-ending honeymoon. Because Pururava was so lost in enjoying with her. Because Urvashi is so beautiful. It is said, the Bhagavatam verse 25 says, Urvashi's body was as fragrant as the saffron of a lotus flower. So when, normally when we come close to another body, even of our spouse, there'll be sweat, there'll be so many odors coming. We cannot avoid. We try so much perfume, powder, this, that. But Devatas, their bodies themselves are fragrant. So enlivened by the fragrance of our body, and the body itself is extremely beautiful. It is that Pururava was so infatuated and lost in this that continuously for days and days and days were passing. They were just sporting and just engaged in physical enjoyment. So their honeymoon was practically never ending. Meanwhile, scene 2, Indradev. Indradev is asking around, अरे उर्वशी को नहीं देखा काफी टाइम से. He's asking, for those who didn't understand what I said, I have not seen Urvashi around for a long time. The others tell him, Arey, you don't know, you forgot Mitra and Varuna cursed her. Ah, yeah. So what's she up to nowadays? Oh, she went and she got attracted to this Pururava and she's with him. Oh, Pururava. Why she went and got attracted to a human mortal? Go and get her back. I'm missing her already. So Indra instructed the Gandharvas that I'm not finding pleasure in heaven anymore without my beautiful Urvashi. Now I don't know whether you know, we discussed this long back and this is not mentioned here, but I don't know whether you remember the background of Urvashi. Urvashi is called Uruvashi because Uru means the thighs. She appeared from the thighs of Narnarayan Rishi. Once, a quick flashback. We discussed this earlier. Quick flashback. When Narnarayan Rishi were doing tapasya in Badrikashram, Indra got very worried. Indra was repeatedly trying to bother them in various ways. Correct? He doesn't want any competition. He doesn't want anybody to take his position. So he sent all his most beautiful apsaras to disturb the austerity of Narnarayan Rishi. Narnarayan Rishi were looking at these apsaras and they were laughing. Narnarayan Rishis are the incarnation of the Supreme Personality of God. What are you going to attract them by showing them Maya forms? So when they saw all these apsaras, they were laughing, and Narnarayan Rishi, I think he hit his thigh, and from his thigh he produced an apsara, which was more beautiful than all of the apsaras of Indra collectively. So they were trying to show, you are trying to impress me with this apsara. From my thigh, I can produce an apsara more beautiful than all of your apsaras. Indra suddenly became, humbled. Ye kya kiya? What is this person so powerful, so capable? So he stopped his misdemeanor, not, create more problems by pursuing this path of disturbing Narnarayan Rishi. And Narnarayan Rishi told Indradev, Isko rakh lo, you keep her, Urvashi. We are not interested. We produced her just to show you what we are capable of. Don't try all these tricks on us. But Urvashi is our gift to you. You be happy. Don't worry, we are not going to bother you. Keep Urvashi. That's how Urvashi came into Indra's assembly. She was a gift from Narayan Rishi to, and she was better than all the other apsaras. So I'm just giving you a background why Indra was missing her, especially because she was truly super excellent. So Indra told the Gandharvas, "You go and fetch." They said, "No, she is married to Pururava. What to do? Right? You are intelligent. You know how I make various kinds of plans. You also go and do some field research and figure out a plan how to get Urvashi back." Okay, okay, okay. So the Gandharvas made a plan because they did all their research and they found out what were the conditions that Urvashi had put to Pururava. They got hold of the marriage contract. So what the Gandharvas did, very interestingly, it is said at night, Pururava and Urvashi were lying in bed. They were enjoying as usual. So Pururava was not wearing any clothes. They were in bed. It was a very dark night. So it is said when it was very dark night, these Gandharvas came to earth, and at midnight, very dark, they came inside the house of Pururava and stole the lambs, the two lambs, which the king was supposed to protect, the two lambs of Urvashi. And the lambs started crying as they were taking away, "Meh," whatever sounds the lamb made. And Urvashi suddenly woke up. "Hey, what is this?" And she saw some, you know, persons taking away her lamb, and she came running and she started chastising Pururava. "What is this? Just see what is happening. I am being killed. My childlike two lambs are being snatched away in the presence of you, you useless, unworthy husband. You said you'd protect them. You useless guy. You are just sleeping here naked on the bed, not doing anything. You are such a coward. I thought you were brave." So, sometimes ladies have this nature. They go to extreme. One side they will, glorify so much. The other side, they will use extreme abuses. You are like a eunuch. You are like a coward. You think you are a great hero. I depended on you, but see what has happened. Some thieves have come and taken away my two sons, the lambs. Oh, and what is my husband doing? He's just lying in bed like a woman, useless guy. He appears, moves about like a man during the day, but what is he's nothing but a woman. So his ego was hurt, was stricken by the sharp words of Urvashi. The Bhagavatam says just like a elephant is struck by the mahout's uh, goad, the point. He was very angry. He was so angry, he got out of bed. He didn't even realize that he is naked. He took a sword in his hand. He rushed out of the house, trying to chase in the direction that the Gandharvas were taking away the lamps. Okay, so lamps are being taken away. Pururava is running behind them with a sword in his hand, completely naked in the middle of a dark night. And behind, Urvashi is also following, trying to figure out what is happening. So, as soon as the Gandharvas realized that Pururava is naked, he's outside his house with a sword in his hand and is chasing us, they left the lamps because they were not interested in the lamps. They were interested in terminating Pururava's contract. Suddenly, they create a very bright, effulgent light in the dark night. And in that light, very clearly, Urvashi saw Pururava standing in the middle of this forest with sword in hand and fully naked. Urvashi said, "Sorry, Pururava, you have violated the terms of our contract." Here, see, I saw you naked. Probably she was looking for an exit opportunity also. She was missing Indraloka. So she said, she was not feeling pain. Oh, the contract ended. Now I have to go. She seemed to be quite happy I'll go back to Indra. I'm missing Swargaloka anyways. So Pururava was totally devastated. He didn't know what to do. She was totally cold about the whole thing. She was purely looking at the contractual terms. She was not concerned about all the enjoyment they had together, the relationship. She was very clear. She was there to enjoy. And he was not only enjoying, but he had formed a emotional relationship with her. He had fallen in love with her. He had become deeply attached. ध्यायतो विषयान् पुंस संगस्तेषु उपजायते संगात् संजायते काम कामात्. One of the principal disadvantages of enjoying materially is that it creates attachment to that kind of enjoyment, and no enjoyment lasts. Even material enjoyment is kshanabhangur, momentary. Any of the sensual pleasures, if you analyze, I don't have so much time to analyze, but think about it, sex life, momentary. The intense pleasure is very momentary. When you eat, so much time to cook, gather everything. How much time does the food remain on the tongue? Momentary. Correct? So if you analyze all this, you will see that all pleasures are temporary. And in the process, what happens? The memory of that pleasure remains in the mind, but the pleasure, the senses and the sense objects contact only for a small time. But the hankering for that happiness remains, and because of that attachment, it causes so much pain to the heart. Hmm? That's why Krishna said, don't get attached to this kind of enjoyment. Don't pursue, don't chase this. If it just comes on its own, you experience it and just forget, just carry on. Don't get anchored to this because this will cause you misery. Nothing lasts forever. But in this is very, very long romantic honeymoon. Imagine, I mean, for in this world, people get attached to girlfriends who are, not even in the top 1% of earth ladies. This is Urvashi. He has been enjoying with her for God knows how long. He was so disturbed. Pururava totally lost it when Urvashi left. Urvashi was least bothered. She just went, bye, see you, have a good time, forget me, find somebody else. In the purport very nicely, a lot of things are written. We don't have so much time, but that is the nature of these kind of women. They are only chasing for different men. One should be very careful. A chaste lady is very different as compared to these kind of ladies. Anyway, he became like a madman. He was traveling all around the earth. Where is Urvashi? Where is Urvashi? Where is Urvashi? Huh? He was just roaming around everywhere, totally besides himself. He lost any interest in his kingdom. He was not doing his any material duties properly, just roaming around the earth. After a long time roaming around the earth, searching for Urvashi, Urvashi, Urvashi. One day, finally, after a long time, Urvashi happened to have come to the bank of the Saraswati in Kurukshetra along with 5 of her friends. He just happened to see her accidentally. I was like, Urvashi, you are here. And just so glad. He ran to her. Oh, my dear wife, why you are behaving so cruel? He's still thinking wife, wife, wife. She has already forgotten and moved on. Please stay here. Don't go. You have come here now. Don't leave me. I didn't do anything to make you unhappy. That was just an unforeseen, unfortunate circumstance. I didn't do anything deliberately. I was just trying to save the lambs. Don't give me up for this reason. This is not proper. Huh? But he saw that Urvashi wasn't too emotionally bothered about this whole episode. Then he realized that, okay, even if you don't want to come back and be my wife, can we sit down and talk for some time? Just give me some time, please, please. He was like begging her. He was telling her, give me some time at least. I cannot live without you. If you refuse me, my body will fall. I will die. I cannot live without you. But she was feeling pity on him. Said, King, what is this? What you have done to yourself? ये क्या हाल बना रखा है? You should know what is the nature of ladies like me. Be sober. Don't allow your senses to control you. Don't let the foxes eat you. You should control your senses. You should know that the heart of a woman is like a fox. There's no use making friendship with women like this, because this is Urvashi saying, I'm not saying. Women as a class are merciless and cunning. Even a slight offense, no matter how much you take care of them, even a slight offense they cannot tolerate. You didn't know this about women? So yeah, I enjoyed with you, but you did an offense. Too bad. I have so many. मेरे हुस्न के कई दीवाने हैं. There are so many people who are falling for me. Not you, sir. So many others are there. I had my good time with you. I am moved on. You should also move on. People like me, we can do anything for our enjoyment. So anyway, she says many things. I'm not going to do all of that. But he says, I can see that you're really suffering a lot. So okay, I can give you one concession. Since you're really, really, really considering that we had a good relationship at one time, I can give you one concession. One day of a year, for one night, I can come and be with you. And every year when I come and spend the night with you, from that union, one child will come and he'll be born. So we can have one child. He was so happy. Oh, something is better than nothing. It's okay, Urvashi, you want to come only one day in a year also, it's okay. And all through the 364 days, Pururava would just be waiting for that one night. Shining for that one night. And that one night he would be enjoying with her. And then the next day he would be again cast in the abyss of misery, thinking that now another 364 days she will not be there. This is the result of attachment. Because even as he's enjoying, he's thinking tomorrow morning she's going to go away. So that's the nature of material enjoyment. That's what Bhagavatam is trying to say. Even if you get the best of the best, there is anxiety before you can get it. The pleasure of enjoyment is small and ephemeral, and after it stops, also there will be misery because you lost it. So too much misery for very little gain, not a good deal. Yehi samsparshaja bhoka dukkha yona ye evate. Na teshu ramate. So they spent a night, then at the end of the 1 year, then Urvashi would give him one son. So this went on. Then at one point, Urvashi told him that he was saying it is too much, Urvashi. Once a year is, making me really, really, really miserable. Can you solve my problem? He said, I'll give you a suggestion. You do this. You worship the Gandharvas. You worship and propitiate the Gandharvas. They will make an arrangement so that I can be with you. Yes. Very good idea. Very good idea. I will do something so by which I will be with you. So it is said that Pururava worshipped the Gandharvas. And when he pleased the Gandharvas, and the Gandharvas said, what do you want? He said, Vyavasayatmika buddhi. My buddhi is very single focused. I want Urvashi. Urvashi. Not for one night, but forever. So already Urvashi had sounded the Gandharvas. This is going to happen. You know what to do. Yeah, I don't want to go back to him. So you know what was the setting? The setting was that the Gandharvas said okay and gave him an exact look alike of Urvashi. Poor guy. An exact look alike of Urvashi, whose name was Agnisthali. A different lady, a different soul, a different entity, but her looks are exactly like Urvashi. Interesting. I don't know from where she came. So he was so happy. Yes, I have my Urvashi back. And he was started roaming around with her in the forest happily. Finally, I got my Urvashi. Now I and Urvashi are together. Now we live happily ever after. But very soon, from her behavior and when they were enjoying together, he figured out uh, that this girl is not the same person. Because every person has their own mannerisms, behavior. Right? He figured out. And then probably he finally, cornered her and asked her, "Who are you?" And she repeated, "Yeah, I'm not Urvashi, I'm Agnisthali." He said, "No, I don't know. I only want my Urvashi. I don't want to." Because Urvashi's thought process was he wants to enjoy a form as beautiful as mine. Let me give him a replacement. You enjoy. But he had already become emotionally attached to the personality of Urvashi also. So he wanted her, not just another beauty like her. So it is said King Pururava, he just left Agnisthali in the forest. At a particular place, he says, "Sorry, I don't want to do anything with you. I'm going, I just want my Urvashi." And he returned home and he started meditating all night. On whom? On Urvashi. So as he was meditating, please give me 5 more minutes. As he was meditating, it is said this pastime was the transition between Satya Yuga and Treta Yuga. Treta Yuga began as he was meditating. So when Treta begins, what happens? The Yuga Dharma changes. Trite Yadhyayato Vishnum Tretayam Yajito Makhai. In Satya Yuga, the process of worshipping the Lord is meditation. So Satya Yuga has a very wonderful characteristic this chapter describes. Satya Yuga is Ekavarna. Everyone is known as Hamsa. There is no Varnashram system in Satya Yuga. There is no Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. Everyone is Ekavarna, one category. There is no worship of various devatas in Satya Yuga. Everyone simply worships Lord Vishnu. And everyone worships by meditating. There is no very organized activities and other things. Everybody's focus is on meditation and spiritual advance. So the Yuga, as it was transitioning, the Yuga Dharma changes. The Yuga Dharma changes from only meditation to fruitive sacrifices, yajnas. So in the heart of Pururava, the principles, and there was only one Veda and only one mantra. So the Veda, the Rig, Sama, Yajur, Atharva, that divisions did not happen in Satya. There was one Veda. And there was one mantra. Everybody was qualified to chant Omkar. So the different religious duties and the different systems slowly evolved from Treta onwards. The Yajna system came. And people were starting to perform various yajnas, to perform various fruitive activities. So the understanding of yajna and the desire to perform yajna appeared in the hand of Pururava by the influence of the change of age. And with that understanding and realization, he came to the realization that if I perform yajna, then I can fulfill my desire of getting Urvashi. So it is said when that understanding came and that desire to perform yajna came, he went back exactly to the same spot where he had left Agnisthali. There he saw a tree, a Shami tree, and inside the Shami tree, from inside the Shami tree, an Ashwatha tree had come out. He took a piece of twig from the Shami tree, he took a piece of twig from the Ashwatha tree, and made it into two aranis. Aranis means the wood which is used to make fire. Because for yajna you have to make fire. Satyayuga people would barely cook. They would not make elaborate food. Most of them would just eat fruits and roots and, cow milk and other things. So he took the wood, he chanted some mantras, desiring to go to the planet where Urvashi was residing. He wanted to perform a yajna thinking of the Shami wood as Urvashi and thinking of himself as the Arani wood, and the process of rubbing as the process through which a son will be born, which is the fire which will come out. Meditating like that, he started to create a fire to perform a yajna. So it is said from the rubbing of the two Aranis came a fire. That is why the fire is also known as a child of Pururava. And from this fire, so when we perform yajnas, actually, nowadays we don't have this art. Yajna fire is not supposed to be lit with a lighter or a matchstick, by the way. The actual traditional Vedic fire has to be lit by the Arani wood rubbing. And that is the standard process. Anyway, that's why in Kali Yuga it's such a mess to do any of these. So, fire was also considered as the son of Pururava. So, Pururava started performing a sacrifice. Now his aim was, Urvashi had disappointed him, Gandharvas had cheated him. So now he said, now with the Yajna, I will please Yajneshwara. Who's Yajneshwar? Lord Hari. Lord Hari is the Supreme Lord, who is the supreme object of all sacrifices. So by pleasing him, I will fulfill my desire. What is my desire? Now I don't want Urvashi to come here. I want to go to where Urvashi is, so that she doesn't run away from me every time. I want to enjoy with her and I want to go. So with this in mind, Pururava started this yajna, and by the performance of this yajna, he was able to go to Gandharva Loka as per his desire. Okay, this ends the chapter, but this doesn't end the story. Because material enjoyment is never leading to permanent happiness, even if one chases it. No matter how much one chases it. So Pururava's misery has not yet ended. Don't think this was the happy ending. His enjoyment is not going to last too long, but we will discuss this in the next chapter. Okay, thank you very much. Any questions or comments?
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
great narration, Prabhu. Really, we completely involved for 1 hour. Yeah, thank you very Hare Krishna.
Welcome. Thank you. Any other point anyone wants to raise? Okay. Hopefully our absorption was not in Urvashi. It was in the lesson. Hopefully you're not looking for books. What yajna we need to perform, Prabhu? Which Prabhupada books talks about this yajna where we can go to the place where Urvashi? The whole point of these elaborate descriptions of these love affairs in the scriptures, especially Bhagavatam, Karma Kanda scriptures, it is to entice us to do that so we enjoy that. But in Bhagavatam, these things are mentioned, make us realize that people who really went far out to achieve these objectives and did everything imaginable to achieve that, still remained frustrated. That's the lesson for us. The lesson is this is not the path to be traversed. What is the path to be traversed? Savai pumsam paro dharmo yatho bhaktir ajokshje ahaitu apratihata yayatma sukhas. As long as we are chasing the flickering happiness of the material world, our hearts will always remain disturbed. But if we want genuinely our hearts to experience intense satisfaction and happiness, we have to take shelter of paro dharma. That dharma which is independent of all material situation and circumstances, which is uninterrupted, unmotivated devotional service to the transcendental Lord, Adhokshaji. So that's the lesson of all these stories. So whether our chasing is of Urvashi, I don't think many of us have a lot of scope to chase Urvashi. But whatever our equivalent of Urvashi is in this world, whether it's a woman or whether it's a job position, I want to be CEO, whether it's become, I want to be a a billionaire, I want to be a unicorn founder, whatever it is. So these by themselves are not bad by themselves, but if that becomes your be all and end all of life, and if one is thinking once I achieve this milestone, I will be fully fulfilled and happy, then one is just chasing a mirage. One can go on performing his own material duty and work towards success, but in a detached manner. One should never forget the nature of the material world. Dukkhalayam ashashvatam. No matter what you achieve, everything will perish. Your achievements will perish, you will perish. In a few years after you leave, there will be hardly any memory of you or reference to you in this world. So let's not forget the reality of what this material world is. Thank you very much. Grantara Srimad Bhagavatam ki Jai Srila Prabhupada ki Jai.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Haribol. Thank you everyone.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you
Hare
Madan
Krishna.
Mohan,
Thank you, Prabhu.
Sarvaji, Suraj,
Thank
Sundar,
you, Prabhu.
Srinakshi,
Thank you, Prabhu.
Sapna ji.